Hello and welcome back to episode 28 in our Air Hauler series. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the office so that we can get started with our routes and our planning. Now first thing we want to do is check in on Daisy, see how she's doing. By now she should have her type rating and we should be ready to get going. As we can see here, our base in Palm Springs is still under construction. And again, we are negative in the hole, and this is gonna hurt. Well, let's get our mind off that, and let's go look into Daisy. So when we go over to our pilots and our crew, here we can see that Daisy is complete and now has her Bonanza A36 type rating. So we're going to be able to assign her to our existing jobs. So when we come over here to our existing schedule, we're going to be able to modify this and make sure we assign Daisy as the crew. Now that she's assigned and the jobs are ready to go, hopefully we'll be able to get this underway and see how it all works. So when we jump over to the map view, we can see that this is the routing that Daisy will be flying. There's 4 flights, and essentially they're going to be going up and down that route. Alright, so now when we look at our jobs page, see all of our accepted jobs, we can see where we've got planes and where we've got to run those people. When we jump over, it is now in flight for Daisy's first hop. So let's join in. So now when we go back to our available jobs map, this gives us the overview and we can see Daisy starting out her PAX flight. So we're going to hold on to this and let's sit back and watch how this routing goes. Looking at our progress graph, we can see that we've gone up by a 0.2 from Daisy's first flight up to KPSP. Now, based on my initial PAX flight, we got a 1.0 bump. So it looks like anything that Daisy does could result in just a 0.2 increment for each flight. Now, overall, this does move us in the right direction, but it does lead to deciding whether or not PAX flights versus cargo flights, what we really should be focused on money-wise. Speaking of money, here we are jumping back into our revenue page so that we can see how much money we've earned from that flight and the other flights that we've flown. Based on these numbers and looking at this, it's obvious that we're not really making that much money off of our passenger service. When we look at our overall revenue graph, we can see how we were doing so well, keeping very low overhead of only $5,341. Now that revenue overhead is going to go way up as soon as our PSP base comes online and another $33,000 is being shelled out like crazy. You'll notice as well that we have a massive dip from all those expenditures of the money that we spent. So speaking of which, maybe we better go look at some jobs and see about figuring out how we got a bump and get ourselves out of the hole. We're going to be owing a lot of money soon, and it might be best if we focus on shifting away from passenger flights and get ourselves back into the cargo delivery flying that has earned us so much money in the past. And with that, I guess we're just going to go ahead and save that for our next flight, and we'll end it here for episode 28. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and come back and see us on the next one. Thanks for watching.